All right, let's just go ahead and roll. Mr. Mark, how's it going from Scotland, eh? That sounds fun. All right. Oh, come on, OBS. There you go. Thank you. All right. I spent a little time trying to figure out what the hell I was doing 2 weeks ago. It looks like our sun synchronous satellite was next. I did some test flights of that. It did not go very well. Are you there for work or are you there for fun? Ah, off again. Good stream. Excellent. Glad you were here. Good to see you, as always, Mr. Mark. Have a good time. Enjoy Scotland. But yeah, I was going to look at our next program, which I think targeted satellites. We're going to need a bigger launcher if we're going to do basically any of this stuff. Com network, same deal. We're going to need a bigger launcher, but 240 grand a year for 2 years, not bad. There's 144, so the funding is not that great, but it'll help us fund a bigger launcher that we'll need to basically do anything else on the list. Also, need a bigger launcher for crude orbit, so it's really time to step in our 350 ton big boy pants. Really, we could do any of these for a lot less than 350 tons, but with a good 350 ton vehicle, we can do so much more. So I'm debating which one to take. What are we making on early satellites? Oh, our funding is going to peak at 189,000, which will taper off pretty quickly. So we'll get most of that at the beginning of the year. And right now our funding is going to ramp up 123. But once we start to, I guess that's the 100,000 mark, maybe? I don't know. Like a graph without numbers is more of a suggestion. But we're going to get 189,000 and the funding is dispersed like this. So the closer we get to the end of the year, the less of that money we see. So it's kind of worth it to stay on until maybe the 6-month mark for this contract, just based on the funding for these at 144 a year. Full well knowing we don't have the capability to do it. So I think a good first step would be to, we're waiting for some tech to unlock to actually start building things, but I think it's a good time to start construction of a new pad. Oh gosh, did I already start construction of the new pad? I should have checked construction. That would have been a smart move. Show height management, construction. Yep, I did start construction of the new pad. So I guess we'll bring up very briefly this little guy. Yeah, we know we're missing some engines on this tech. We'll have to get that researched. But hey, I built the exact same thing I always build because I try to break away from it and make something that's a little different, and then I end up being like, yeah, I just don't like this. It doesn't look right or sit well or something's wrong, and I always end up coming back to the exact same design because I'm old and resistant to change. So there's that. Loading screen. Yeah, we'll wait. Don't have much choice. I guess we'll get more into talking about this, I guess, when it becomes time. We've got some tech to unlock before we can actually build the rocket. We've got a boatload of things to tool, which is why I'm out of money. I bought a lot of tooling for a lot of the accessory stuff. We're still at about 50 large per unit, and yeah, more than a year of build time. That's, I don't know, I guess it's 0 efficiencies. So we'll get to that. We'll start buying more tooling and start building some of these rockets, and hopefully it'll take less than a year to build when we're done. But like the big tanks are the ones that cost a lot of money and need to be tooled. We don't have it yet. It is what it is. We just gotta wait and collect money, which is also, pretty good for us, I guess. So I guess we'll go ahead and try to move through this sun synchronous launch. I know this one's probably going to fail unless we get it. I don't know. We got to be super quick on the trigger and we got to be absolutely direct with it. But I have something that has a higher chance of success. It just needs this to unlock. Oh, you know what? We're at July. September's not that far off, so maybe we just put off the launch until we know we can do something about it. And I started training my crew up for an X1 flight just to try to bank us some science. Gosh, I want to start construction. We got a month to go. So maybe, yeah, we just go ahead and load up a rocket plane flight, because why not? That's our total change plus 17 bucks a day. That's excellent. Cosmic Girl batteries are getting low. Yeah. Oh, hey, you radioed in a pretty good amount of science. I'll take that. Mounting to carrier. Yep. Cosmic Girl batteries are depleted. We have lost contact with that satellite, unfortunately. Oh, JC2 Prime is ready. Let's go ahead and just try to collect a little bit of science on 500. That's, well, we're gonna try to do a cruise. We're gonna try to get up to 40 kilometers and get some high altitude science for quite a while. But let's just try 300. If we have to turn around, we have to turn around. So, Simev, how's it going? You betray all of us 2 weeks in a row. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was out of town. I had some things I had to do. You know, like last week I was out of town. The week before that I was getting things ready for going out of town. So hopefully that won't be the case for a while. And you know, we got Extra Life 2023 coming up in November, in which y'all get to have me for 24 some odd hours. Probably not all in a row because I'm old and I just can't keep up anymore. I'm so sorry, Simev. I'm so sorry. Launch. Yeah, I guess we'll take Herbert James, fill tanks, and launch. Let's do this. Oh, did I seem to vaguely remember getting the science ready for this particular flight. I hope that is correct. Ascent guidance, you can go away. Alright, tap P to activate, standard fly-by-wire, gear up. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Full throttle, ignition. We're good on all engines. All engines are good. Let's climb, baby, climb. Alright, let me check the specs. Yeah, high altitude flight, which is above 40 kilometer. So that's where we're trying to be. We're just trying to farm a little science while we can, I guess. So we climb to 40 kilometers. We sit there, we fly straight for a while. We enjoy the scenery, and hopefully we land safely. That's a big hopefully. Yeah, we might have an upgrade for these XLR-11s. And it's probably time to add some RCS. Let's roll the throttle back and get this thing a little more under control. Alright, down to 4 engines. I mean, you should collect speed at 20 kilometers before doing a zoom climb. Yeah, you're probably right. Actually, these flights would work better if you picked up some speed. Dang it. Yeah, y'all are probably right. You know what? We'll give that a go for next time. Right now, we're just trying to get to 40 kilometers in one piece. Without spinning around or, you know. I think we gotta be above a certain speed on this, too. Man, our AOA is... That's interesting. I'm kind of scared to try to level this out. Are we even getting 600 meters per second? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. We're basically going to start flying... Oh, I meant to throttle up, not throttle down. So we're not climbing very fast anymore. We might as well just enjoy our belly flop into an appropriate altitude. So we are really trucking. 38. Come on. We're gonna run out of fuel before we get there. Interesting. 9, alright. Bring that nose back in. 8, 9, 400. Roll throttle. Still accelerating, that's good. Yep, high altitude flight is running, yay, and we are running out of fuel. So let's keep that throttle as low as we can. We are as low as we can. We're running on a single chamber for each of the XLR11s. So, nope, now we're falling. So get that nose back up, bring the throttle, and you got to stay above 40, friend. Not enough air to give us control. Maybe there's enough throttle. Yep. Invalid situ. Dang it. Come on. Yeah, I think we're gonna sputter out before we hit 40. Dang it. Alright, well, maybe we can just kind of glide it in. At least we're somewhat close to the Cape. Thump. There's flame out. We're not even, well, we are gonna barely touch 40. There it is, running. So we'll just, okay. Enjoy the silence. Yeah, don't sing Depeche Mode. Aerodynamics aren't going to keep you above 40 until your speed is several kilometers per second. Yeah, I would say I'm just here because I'm happy to be here. Not because I think we're going to get a whole lot of data out of this. We got like, what, 0.3? 0.4? Yeah, we're gonna start belly flopping here pretty soon, and then it's gonna be time to hopefully pull off a successful landing. We'll get what data we can while we can. Oh, up to 0.8. Will it hit 0.9? No. Alright, well, we got half a point of science out of this. That's not too terrible, I suppose. Alright, let's flip open the brakes. We can put the cockpit data away, and technically a ramjet at 2.1 kilometers per second can do it with an extremely optimized design. Well, we all know I will never pull that one off, so there's that. Yeah, I'd really like to not make a second pass, so I'm going to try to dive into this and just air brake off as much of the speed as we can and see if we can't just do a single approach. This is a really bad idea. This is a really, really, really bad idea. Yeah, let's scratch that. We'll loop around. Fine. Doesn't 2 equal several? Is it several? Okay, cockpit heating. Let's control for that. Yeah. Just now getting below Mach 2. Oops. Well, it's a good thing we didn't cook Herbert James here. Turns out he's a pretty good pilot. We'd like to keep him alive for a while. Guess we can start our bank in. A nice wide looping path, because we got speed to bleed. Man. I did spend some time with my laptop practicing things in these last 2 weeks, but none of them were flying aircraft, so expect this to go horribly. I mean, I guess that's kind of as per usual, right? What? Hey, good airframe. Handles mild turning at above Mach 1 relatively well. Let's coast it out a little bit. Kill off some of that speed. Could have implemented it from here anyway. No, it's a terrible idea. Don't do that, Cosmo. Don't do that. Let's loop on down. Let's kill the rest of this velocity. Oh, did I turn these on? Dang it, I really hope I did. I really, really hope I turned that on. So that also will run it above 40 kilometers. Hopefully we got a little data out of it. Wouldn't that be nice if we could keep our researchers researching? Alright, brakes out. Because, buddy, we are toasty fast. Just shake a couple windows loose down on the ground. No big deal. Alright, let's go for a nice, gentle, easy touchdown. It'd make my life a lot easier. Hold those in. Runway is here-ish. That's not going to do me any good. The mouse won't move when the scenery does. That was extra stupid metric, Cosmo. Don't be dumb. Let's get below the clouds. If we keep enough speed up, yep, there it is. I can kind of see it. I don't know how well that is coming across for all of you lovely people. Flare them. Okay. And we'll get set up here for final approach in just a moment. Enjoy the, I don't know, maybe we're lucky enough and we got one whole science out of this. Which, for risking a Kerbal, probably not the greatest ROI. Breaks out. Alignment, not great, but okay. To okay-ish. Can't decide on which side of this runway I need to be on. If only there was a mechanism for which to lock the camera onto the thing you're piloting and give you perspective on your angle. Not particularly risky with ejection seats. You have to remember that you have ejection seats. And it risks the airframe too. You know, I mean, you're right. We also got to think about the time. We have very, very limited time. Alright, flare these out. Because we got to dive in a little bit lower. We're coming in a bit high and a bit hot. Alright. Landing gear out. Brakes. Judgment of my sync rate would be good. 125. Let's. Oh, no. Too much. Too much. Do not stall this aircraft, bro. Too much. Come on. Gentle, 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 gentle. Nice. Brakes, 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 brakes. Look at that squat. Beautiful. Well done, Herbert. Shoot. Recover to spaceplane hangar. Yay! We did it. All right. Let's see how much we got paid for that. The answer's next to nothing. Oh, 1.2 science off the bio sample. And yeah, half off, half a point for high altitude flight. That's not bad. I mean, we're almost maxed out on that experiment, so I think we can run that about one more time, maybe two to clean up the decimal place. Wondering from your gimbal's AOA, think that the stall speed of that aircraft is way below 100 meters per second. No gimbals on the engine, but you may be correct. But, the amount of Kerbals I've killed stalling while trying to land gently. It's many, many. Not in this save, but it is many, many. Alright, I think orbital rocketry needs to be our next one. Yeah, that's got the engines we need for our big boy. We do want to come down here and take care of some of that stuff first, but that's our next step. Man, if we did EDL, we could run some film cameras in orbit, and that would be a great way to rake in some science. Like, that would be a really great way to rake in some science. Tough calls all around. Everything sucks. Everybody hates me. Now, the sooner we can field our bigger launcher, the sooner we can do bigger stuff with better science. It says less the amount of Kerbals killed while landing at 1.5 times as fast as normal. I was like, you got to go back to the 113 save where we killed 6 in one go. Stalling out into a splashdown. That was unpleasant. But you may be right. The number may still be lower. Alright, how's our research coming? 917, we're just going to go ahead and get that figured out. Then we'll correct our sun synchronous thing until it's ready to go. Oh, we're 3 September. That craft will be recovered, and then this will finish up very quickly. Ding. All right, integration. Let's edit this one just 'cause. There's going to be some avionics that needs rebuilding, and I'll show you how I'm going to try to bilk this contract with my caveman ways. I got it to work. I don't know, like, eventually. Eventually is the correct word here. All right, BP4W, let's open. I'll show you what I mean here. Sunsync magnetometer revision 3, load. It's like 90% the same rocket. I think the avionics were updated, which, of course, we probably can't tool. It'll take 51 days to rebuild this thing. That's great. I'll show you what we have done differently. We scaled down our solar panels because with the upgraded avionics, unlock, let's take care of that. We don't need panels that are nearly as big. We also added RCS thrusters to our science control pod, and that is just to fine-tune our orbit because we have that really strict limitation on what our final eccentricity can be. Nope, you're not the avionics unit. You are the avionics unit, and we need to... Oh, buddy boy. Do we have enough money to do this, I wonder? And you, did you get upgraded? You did not get upgraded. Thank goodness. We can leave you alone, and we will. So that takes our integration time down to 48 days. Let's see what other tooling we might need. Yeah, there's what's our tool all cost? I think avionics tooling is going to be the most. Yeah, we can't afford it anyway. Close. So basically we got some structural parts and then 2 avionics to tool. So I think we'll start by tooling this because I'm pretty sure this is the shape we're going to use again. Purchase tooling. Takes us down to 45 days. Okay. So here's what I would like is for in this menu to have like a checkbox where you could select which ones you want to tool. you know, and then like tool selected. Because would I like to tool these just because it's cheap? This is all one tank. Procedural tank, conventional structure, stringer tank. That's got to be these guys here. Tool, purchase tooling. 43 days. Yep, and now it's just the avionics that are untooled, which we can't afford to tool anyway. So let's slap this back on. Fairings shouldn't need tooling. Good. Perfect. And we'll hit save edits. As they say, pull requests welcome. Sounds like you're asking me to exert actual effort. I know the irony. It's okay. All right, so let's bump you up to the top. That should... No, that is the old variation that won't work anyway. I'm wondering if we should send that back to, well... Nah. What do we got? 11.3 and then 11.27. Man, we're really pushing this launcher back, so I mean, we might as well edit the next one also, or at least get this one edited, because I don't think there's any hope of me completing the contract without having these revisions made. Heaven knows we're going to have a failure of something at some point, somewhere. I don't know. All else fails, we just remove the magnetometer because I'm pretty sure this... Why am I doing that? Let's do this. Don't save. Just open up Rev 3. We made no changes. So it should count. Everything should be fine. Doom, 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 doom. Loading. There we go. Wow. Why do you take so much less time than the first time we did this? It says you'll only take 16 days to build. That's very interesting. Are you... Yeah, I can see the RCS thrusters in there, and there they are on our whatchamahoozits. Alright, well I guess you're just going to get bumped to the top of the work order then. If we can do this in 16 days instead of, what, 30, 40? Yeah, we'll get this out by the end of October. That'll work for me. Let's roll it out. And now I have to remember, what are the stipulations of the contract? Do I already have... Yeah, Sunsync. Periapsis above 300. Oh man, trying to remember how I put in the information for the orbit. I ended up having to fly the last half of it by hand. Alright, and I guess we'll warp until morning. Stop. The lower the sun in the sky is, the better off we will be. Launch. Let's do this. It's going to take me a minute or two to set up MechJeb, because for some reason this new revision likes to tumble out of control even with MechJeb at the helm, which makes me very upset. So there may be some reverts on this one. Park Delta V up here. Quick review of our staging. It's the RDO 108, clamps, stage SEP, ullage motors, XLR 11 plus RCS. Beauty ring SEP, fairing SEP, and then that is our first uncontrolled stage with the Russo B, and that is its beauty ring SEP, and then payload deploy. Alright, let's pull out scent guidance. We would like, our minimum is what, 300? Yeah, and we want a little bit of wiggle room, so we're just going to go for, I'm going to tell it 350 by, what does that put us at, 900, with an attach altitude of 350 kilometers, and orbital inclination has to be between 95 and 99, so let's go for 97, split the difference, and stop at stage 3. After that, I will be taking over, probably, because, yeah, anyway. So, there's all that. Let's take a quick save and hope for the best, probably. Okay. Engage autopilot and ignition. Looks green. Flame on. We are going. Now, please, 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 hold your heading. Do your job. Do the job. And get paid. This is the nervous part, because it really doesn't like just going to 350 kilometers. I don't know, updating the avionics has resulted in a much better off-the-pad TWR. We should have stretched the tank, but it's a lot of useless tooling, I suppose. Go, baby, go! It does not look like the... Well, is it just me observing angles on gimbal motors? Does it look like, or is that just dirt on my monitor? Might be dirt on my monitor. We're holding steady in the prograde vector. I'm gonna assume that means everything is just fine. Everything is going just fine. Everything was not going just fine. In fact, this whole ordeal is a gigantic shit show. But we'll see, I suppose. We're just gonna stare at our eccentricity after we deploy the Russo stage and then just hope for the best, probably. RCS to arm. 50 seconds until MECO and second stage ignition. Let's all apologize to the good people of what I can only assume is going to be one of the Carolinas. We'll be eating booster. Basilla, how's it going? Good to see you again. Welcome. Ugly jagged coast. Sorry, how do I fix it? I mean, or is it just going to get better when we cross the 140 mark? Yeah, I agree. Let's just try not to look at it. We'll look this way instead. How about some sun flare? No fix exists. There. Yep. Alright, yep. Our apogee's already up to 407 kilometers. Alright, fairings should be going very soon. Hey, where is your beauty ring deploy? Yep, it was already deployed. It was sticky. Artifact of the stupid stuff we had to do to scatter. Ah, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So, you want to start reining in that apogee there, friend? I love how this attach altitude. You're just gonna ignore that for me? Cool, 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 cool. You do you, boo-boo. You do you. I imagine at some point you're going to want to just arc it across the horizon, but you're going to start angling down because that's an efficient use of your time, obviously. We may have gone up too high. Maybe I should have put that... Well, MechJeb went up too high. I told it to get up to 350 kilometers. What we're doing at 500 kilometers is entirely beyond me. Vodka stage. Yes, has ethanol. We burn the potato. Alright, you're gonna try to work some of that out, huh? That's cool. You do you, boo-boo. What does our coast apogee look like? 5 minutes? We've got 30 seconds left of runtime. Not far from losing your heading there. I think you'll want to lower the Q alpha to like 1400 instead of the default 2000. Good idea. I was wondering, I increased it on some of my test runs thinking that was going to give me the result I wanted. It didn't, so now that lowering it might work better. And I don't know, if this fails miserably, we'll try it again, but I can always hope that maybe disengage autopilot. Alright, advanced, not inertial, surface horizontal, forward execute. And we're going to try to burn it straight across, and we're just going to hope that we got enough oomph in the tanks to bring us up to our required eccentricity. What's our runtime? 48 seconds? That seems low. Did we boil some stuff off on the way up here? That's kerosene and AK-20. No, looks like everybody's there, unless we lost some nitrogen in the... No. I really thought I had that at 50-something seconds. Maybe I am wrong. It's a distinct possibility. It happens a lot. Basically tells MechJeb to stay prograde while Atmo's an issue. That may put it far from its desired course later if your pitch rates are off. Better than losing the rocket, though. Agreed. We'll give it a shot. We'll just see how bad this goes. So at about the minute 30 mark, we're going to level out ullage and go for broke. At which point I will have to stare at eccentricity. Boo! Eek! How's it going, Sea Kraken Boy? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Alright. And ignition in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, you motherfucker. Interesting failure. Fall off chair immediately, sending that karma, I know. Alright, well, we've got an engine failure, so we're going to have to try this launch again. I'll eat engine failures, so, hey, yeah, hula hoop. Whee! Legit fail or ullage? Legit fail. The engine lit and then stopped. It wasn't solid fuel. Nope, solid fuel. U-220 has failed with engine shutdown. So, legit fail. We're going to eat this one. But we're going to get some mag scan data while we can. We'll also get rid of our hula hoop and just, I don't know, try to avert our untimely demise as much as possible. Oh yeah, we're probably not going to pick up another radio station, or we're probably not going to pick up another ground station before we run into the ground, so this is a useless and futile gesture. Some serious whipping happening. How are we doing on battery charge, though? Oh yeah, it looks like panels are big enough, even at this inclement angle, to keep our batteries topped off. That's nice. Dude, bummer. Alright, well, back to the Space Center, I suppose. Schnikes. Alright. Legit fail. Gotta try it again. Loving the stage designs. Thank you. I get real bored. Can't fly stuff. So I just try to make things look pretty, and I feel like it's my penance for taking 500,000 starting funds is that I have to blow it all on tooling before 1960. I'm a big fan of the round tanky design thing going on. All right, let's go ahead and edit this guy. Because the other one we edited was a stock BP. Was it a stock BP4W, or was that the original Sun Synchronous Whatchamahoozits? I don't know. Either way, if this one can be done in 14 days, we'll bump it up the list and then duplicate it. And then hopefully, with Nova's suggestion of reducing our Q alpha, maybe we can actually get a decent insertion. maybe MechJeb can just handle the whole thing, because I am obviously incompetent. Sunsync Mag, Rev 3. Oh, yeah, no. Original 35.7. Yeah, it won't be done in 14 days because the actual rocket wasn't done. That's just dumb. It's 14 days because it was an edit. Yeah, this too is an edit, but it's an edit of a rocket that's not complete yet either. Or no, wait, was it? Who knows? Anyway, so I like the stage design. I do too. Just, I got plumbing all going there, and all that stuff's neat. Those should have been plumbed, but I got lazy. Yeah, same thing in here, kind of. The big boy has a better design up here, so we'll talk about that later. Never mind, I did? Did I? Okay. I probably very promptly forgot. Did our staging get foobarred? It did get foobarred. Just don't go to save your edits there. He's got Badgers tickets, don't you know? Okay, so who's going to be done first? That one's at 30 and will be done at 11:09. This one's at 0 and be done at 12:07. So, yep. Okay. Reconditioning. I guess this is what we're doing for a while. We could fly that rocket plane again, but how much? I don't think we can duplicate you, can we? Nope, not enough funds. Where are we at? November 57. How's our funding looking on this? It's not like we're not going to cancel the project. Oh yeah, our funding continues to ramp up until just after the end of the year, and then starts to seriously tail off about 6 months in. I have 2 engines, so you still have something if one blows, both pointing through the COM. This is a strategy I tend to employ on a lot of things, but when you need to maximize for mass, and generally, you get enough data points on your engines, they don't fail that often. I can't think of the last time we had a failure. I could go check the records that I have here in yeah, the RP1 logs. Let me scroll down and find my save here. Launches was the last time I had an Agathorn jump in on me. Was a launch that was done. It was a stock BP4W launched on June 27th, 57. So earlier this year, and there were 2 other launches before the launch that we just did that went without failure. Wow, that is a useful thing. I uploaded this on the site. I did. I took care of that last night. Was that last night? Yeah, probably. It's either last night or Friday night. One of the two. Alright, let's start this rollout to the pad and let's try this again while we are just basically losing all the money. 0.4 science. Gosh, dag it, we need to... Where's the sun? Yeah, not in a bad spot, but I guess we'll just wait it out until dusk, which will be over there somewhere. At the very least, it'll be a pretty launch. I love the little icon that's on the RP1 analytics page for Agathon when you have an engine failure. Like, legit, that made my whole day. The sun is in the sky. Oh, come on. Really, bro? We're going to do wobbly rockets today? Alright. Alright, so we've got our queue set. Let's give MechJeb a chance to resolve this all on its own. We'll take a quick save, and if MechJeb screws it up, we'll just take over. Well, we won't take over, but we'll revert and try again. So engage autopilot, staging, we check that. Looks... Is that... No, that's the beauty ring step. Is it? Hold the phone here. No, that's not the beauty ring set. That's beauty ring set, but we do want fairings in a separate stage because they won't be quite ready to go. So disengage, engage. I really hope that target apogee is correct. It should, if we get to 350, shouldn't it be closer to like 800? Who wants to teach me how to do the math on eccentricity? If we let's just say we lock in that target periapsis of 350 kilometers and we want an eccentricity no greater than 0.4. Is that 4% greater? Or is that a factor of like, well, a factor of 4/10? Rocket reference. Oh, calculators. All right, let me pull that up while y'all are staring at my launch padded rocket. Initial orbit kilometers, let's say 350. Planetary body Earth, blah blah blah. Radius, I don't know. That's not what I'm looking for. Semi-major orbital eccentricity. Periapsis, 350. And let's just say 900 for now. Earth, blah, blah, blah. Eccentricity. That's an eccentricity. Okay, so a 350 kilometer periapsis and a 900 kilometer apoapsis gives us an eccentricity of 0.03. And we have to be between 0.02 and 0.04. It is on the close end to 4, so let's just see what happens if we take this down to 8. Yeah, that's 3.2 and a little less delta V. If we go down to 7.25, we'll shoot for that. 300 or 350 by 700. Disengage, re-engage, punch it. Punch it. Gotta click outside a MechJeb for it to count. Thank you very much, Simev. That's going to be more use than I would like to admit. Okay, MechJeb, you have the ball, please. Please, please, don't screw us. Would greatly appreciate. Period calculator, orbit darkness time. Oh, dude. Okay, sorry about the zoom going all wonky. I'm scrolling on the page Simev sent me, and dude, super useful. Eccentricity is from center of planet. Yeah, it makes sense. It's is it the difference in the size of the ellipse from this central radius? The difference in ratio? I don't know, I should probably pay attention in a math class at some point in my life. Not likely. It's Grass, what's going on tonight? How you doing? I am doing alright. How's it going, Floating Spaceman? Good to see you. We're trying to knock out this sun synchronous satellite contract. For no other reason than I already built the rocket and then updated it, and then it failed, and so I built some replacements, and we're trying again, and we're going to keep trying because I took the contract and now we have to. So here we are, even though we've completed the requirements of the program, we're just going to keep on keeping on. And if it goes well, we'll get some science out of it, and that's always fun. Alright, yeah, this looks a lot more stable. Our apogee is coming up on 120 some odd kilometers. Things are generally looking a lot better than they were. I think that change to the QA limit Nova is paying off greatly. Yeah, RCS is already set to ARM because our XLR11 does not gimbal. We will be needing that to do any adjustments going forward. But yeah, I guess we'll just we'll see how MechJeb handles the unguided stages at the end of this. Good, got a week left of summer and before uni again. Lucky you. I start classes again tomorrow. And kiddo starts kindergarten tomorrow. Which, that's gonna... Whoa, there, buddy. What's up with that, rather extreme deviation? Okay, well, hey, at least the beauty ring and the fairings fell away without too much issue. Let's go ahead. You know what? We'll wait. Nobody deploys a science experiment on the way up. Don't be greedy, Crash. Don't be... our apogee's still way up there. I'm curious to see how MechJev is going to resolve this, and if it's going to actually be able to insert us into the correct orbit with the unguided stage up here. That's going to be interesting to see. Or if MechJeb's going to kill the throttle once it realizes it doesn't have guidance, because it tends to like to do that sometimes. Aiming for 350 parry and 1 burn does that to your apogee on ascent. Okay, so maybe a coast phase in between the RD-108 and the XLR-11 might be necessary. Or really, we could tell it to light the XLR-11, get it up to where it needs to be, and then shut it down. I wish there was a way to tell it to do that, because we can relight that engine almost as many times as we'd like. Coast plus PVG is, as far as I understand, not a recommended combo. Fair enough. Okay, are you gonna... Seriously? You lit the engine and then you turned it off? You son of a bitch. Yeah, I've had problems with coasting phases as well. Yeah, I've never really gotten them to work, but MechJeb has just screwed the pooch and turned off the engine. That doesn't turn back on. So we're gonna jump back to launch. We're gonna quick load, and I guess I'm gonna take the ball, or we'll try it again. We'll just adjust the staging so it fires the ullage motors and then lights the engine. And I think that generally that transfer from guided to unguided really throws MechJev off sometimes. So if we were to do this, yeah. So that was my initial plan, was to use stop at stage, but I wanted to see if MechJev could do this, and honestly, maybe I'm just done borking around with it. So we'll tell MechJev what, stop at stage 4. Yeah, that's after fairing sep, and I'll just take the ball, and at least we know what we have to target. Alright, 1497, blah, 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 blah. Engage autopilot, and click outside the box, then hit ignition. Keep limited throttle over. Blah, blah, may need to be on for that engine. I'll say it should... I thought it was on, and it's over 5%. Oh, yeah. Keep limited throttle over 5%. I don't know if it was necessarily trying to throttle back. Generally, when it loses avionics, it cuts the throttle. But that'll be something that we'll have to test out for, I don't know, the likelihood of me being able to nail this on first try. Or maybe you can keep the engine on manual. Is there a way to do that? Interesting. Alright, while MechJev is sorting this out, I'm going to go visit the little cosmonaut's room. Let me arm RCS in case I'm not back in time. I'll just let y'all... Nope, we don't want to look at Jaggedy Coast. So enjoy the show. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. I'm back, and I didn't even miss a staging, so hey, go me. We're getting there, we're getting there. Alright, what have we pushed our apogee out to? 340? 345? So really, we could coast up to that after all of this staging nonsense. Like, I could just hit disengage autopilot right now. And we coast up to apogee and dump all of our energy into all of this, because we can relight that engine. So let's advanced. Nope, not inertial. Surface horizontal. Execute. What's the runtime on this? Minute 47. So basically, yeah, why is that 56 seconds? The other one was 40-something seconds. See, that number seems more correct. So we basically got about 2 minutes 47 seconds of run, and we want to split that in half. That's a minute and 23 seconds. We'll round down to a minute 20. And we'll just try to do this by hand, I suppose. We've got just a little bit of a coast phase here, so we'll let it coast. Oh man, but yeah, our apogee's a lot higher, so hold on. Let me click over 444.51. Let me scroll back up to, sorry, scroll back down to, dang it, where is it? I'm just going to jump around on this page. That's initial orbit, semi-major axis, orbital eccentricity, periapsis, 445, we'll just say. And that means we got to get up to about 800 on the other side. Add another 10 seconds lead time. TWR starts off low. Yeah, good plan. What did I say we were at? A minute. We got 2 minutes 43. So we want to be at 1 minute and 20 plus 10 is 30. Okay, we'll light it up at about a minute 30 ish. We're gonna need some of this to control. But, you know, no sense in not venting what we can whilst we can. I don't know, maybe we just go ahead and start it off a little early. Minute 40, we'll say. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full throttle. So boom. There we go. We're running. And let's just let it go, I suppose. At least we know MechJev won't turn off the engine. So long as the engine will actually fire, I think we'll be in a pretty good shape. It'll just be a matter of being able to shut it down in time. So yeah, we're looking for 4. Man, that keeps going up. But 800 is pretty well within a safe zone, so we're gonna... Man, I don't have Maneuver Planner unlocked yet, do I? No, because I don't have maneuver nodes unlocked yet. It's just nice, just tell it like, oh hey, raise the at apoapsis, at apogee, adjust the current perigee to the new apogee of 800 some odd kilometers, or whatever it is that you need to do to make that a thing. Yeah, well, we should have also made accommodations for our differences in TWR, but the difference in the TWR between the two stages makes the math on doing this a differential equation, and that shit sucks, and there's no way in fuck I'm going to try to mentally talk out a bunch of math that I barely understand. They pay people a lot of money to figure that out, and none of them are me. Alright, 14 seconds until engine cutoff, and then we can go for broke and hope for the best. Let's get ready for staging. 3, 2, 1. Looks like a solid light. Ah, come on. Beauty ring is clear, and now we watch and wait for the shutdown. Good apogee is only moving a little bit because we're kind of wiggling on our axis here. That sucks. Go, baby, go. Please, 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 you can do it. You can do it. I don't know if you can do it. Gosh, are we even going to be orbital at this altitude? No, we got another 1500 in the tank, so we should, based on our apogee and our remaining delta V. Yeah, the changeover's coming here in about 3 seconds. 1, 6, 7, 8. Shut. Oh, got it up to 903. What's that? Yes! Eccentricity is within threshold. Booyah! Yes, yes, yes! Gotcha. Yes. Ah, that feels good. Hooah! Ah, thank you, Nova. We're gonna let this check finish out. We'll go ahead and boot up the mag scan. Whee! And once that is done, then we'll separate ourselves from what was it, U1200, U1250 stage. I just don't want to touch anything. Satisfaction with the result, indeed. You know, we're a minute from yet another contract completion on a satellite that is generating power, collecting science, and at the designated orbit. Yeah, happy. I really thought I was going to take many, many, many more attempts than that. But dang, it worked. And that feels good. "15 more seconds. We can just enjoy the view for a little bit. Man, some spin arresters would have been a waste of mass, but would have been nice to see. Ching! First sun-synchronous satellite. Contract complete. Stage that off. Give it a little tap on the throttle just to give ourselves some breathing room. Yeah, we're still within spec on our orbit, so no worries there. Hooray! And now hopefully this little guy will stay up here for quite a while and give us lots of good science. Let's give him an orbit or two just to watch that electric charge. Yeah, it looks like she's staying topped off, of course. The whole point of a sun-synchronous orbit is that you are synchronous with the sun. And you can keep those panels lit up all the time. 30 days, we should get a pretty good payout from this little guy. And I guess we can edit the other ones to carry 2 of our other science experiments, the video camera, which we'll just get some nice spinny views. I'll take it. Back to the Space Center. Good job, little guy. Good job. Nice. Feels good. Maybe we'll take the 6,000 kilometer downrange contract. We got this booster, we're not going to do anything with it otherwise. So we might as well, change up the... I think this is the only thing we have left. And 450 rep, not bad. Must be suborbital. Damn it. Can we be orbital? 50 units of sounding payload. Kind of kills interest for me. Maintain avionics, reach altitude of 140, achieve downrange distance of 6,000, sounding payload of 50 units. So if we can add 50 units, I think we can pull that off with that existing launcher. If the only actual goal is to put the a film, or not a film camera, a video camera and a micrometeorite detector on it, so that we can just rake in a little bit more science. So let's just go ahead and accept the contract. If we have to build another dummy launcher, then we will. Let's go edit. Oh man. This is, man, we need to really up the rate of our science data collection if we're gonna, I don't know, do anything worthwhile with this save. Buffering. Buffering. How's it going, Viper? Good to see you, buddy, man. How's it going? Alright, let's pull this off. You can go to the sides. Science. I know this thing is power hungry as hell. Do we point it straight up or straight back? How? Let's do the dip sounding payload first. Oh, have I not? Can we put those in a conventional structure if it's high pressure? It's sounding payload after all. Stringer tank high pressure, 90%, tank UI. All the way at the bottom, sounding payload. Yep, we sure can, and we do not need nearly that much. 50 units. I should have gone wide instead of tall, but here we are. 50.893. Man, that really messes up all of my aesthetics here. Oop, I'm clicking all the wrong things. What do I want to do with the U? Drop this diameter and then just slowly walk it out until we're barely above 50. It's going to be very, very, very close to the top. It's going to be like, nope, there it is. Yeah, 595 millimeter. How to deal with how atrocious this is. I guess we just clip it through the bottom here and doop. No, that doesn't work for me either. We don't need the thrusters, but of course the solar panels are attached there. So pull those off. I want 4 of them, locked to 90. We're going to attach them to our payload here. We don't need you. We don't need you. And we don't need you. And then we will just very carefully wrap that around our avionics unit. Oh man, should I increase? No. You know what? For a Bollocks flight, that's gonna just have to be good enough. Lock to 90, and I would like only one of these, please. Let's just hit all the buttons. There we go. That. Yeah, that's the lens. I just don't want it to point at the sun. Goes well. New mic, nice. Upgraded fiber internet from 26 kbps to 300. Dude, that would be awesome. Yeah, fine. We'll go with that. Back to the science experiments, please. Micrometeorite detector. Just point it at the solar panel and hope for the best. BP4W. There we go. You stream your uploads only 6 kilobits. I'll also be around 300. Wow. Yeah. Here's hoping. Fiber is awesome. I've got fiber currently, and I much enjoy. Alright, we'll save that as its own thing. We're going to go from 7% to 3%. Dare I tool anything? Not with the amount of money that we have. Save edits. Alright. Oof. Alright, so I guess we're just waiting on that to be done. Our funding going up pretty well. We need to kind of bank some cash so we can get tooling on our new big rocket, for which we are already building a launch pad. I guess we could up the work rate on that a bit more. Well, it doesn't really help because I'm not going to be able to build any rockets for it for a while. So that's a thing. We're still at plus 128. How's our research coming? Orbital rocketry will be done January 20th of 1958. And we need to get some more data in, but hopefully, yeah, the thing we just launched should be radioing some stuff in. Well, that'll be done 120 1958 also. How convenient. Like, I want to duplicate it, but I don't. Just in case it fails. There goes everything we bankrolled. It's probably going to have to fire some people at the end of this. Bummer. Let's see what happens to our science. Up to 3. Yay. Roll out. Pictures and pinholes. Heading out to the launch pad. That will drop our funding to, ouch, minus 570 a day. Okay, back to construction. We'll drop your build rate down to 60 again. Nope, that really just didn't have that much of an effect. So, foobar. And orbital rocketry tech is now complete, and our researchers are idle. I really should save that 3 science, because after this launch, if it goes well, we should be able to do something with it. Alright, we're going to try for sun synchronous on it also. 1, we can cover all the biomes. 2, those very undersized solar panels being in constant contact with the sun will help it out quite a bit. Am I looking? That would be, yeah, that would be east. Sun will come up over here. We'll launch to whatever the hell orbit we feel like. And hopefully things will go pretty well. Alright, let's take a quick save. Launch. I think I'm just going to do the exact same procedure that we did last time. But we'll probably start with a 200 kilometer initial insertion, and then we'll burn for broke. I don't think we're going to have the Delta V get up into a high science, or into high space, because that's like, what, 32 million? If we had that kind of capacity, we'd be taking the ComSat payloads. But we don't. So we won't, and we need to figure out what the hell program we're going to take next. But also, we should probably be upgrading our admin facility so that we can take more than 1 contract at a time, or we can take an additional contract. Alright, target, periapsis, let's go 250, attach altitude of 250, and you definitely have a hard stop after stage 3. I'm going to take over long before that, so engage autopilot and ignition. Solid light on the 108. Good job so far. QA limit still right where it needs to be, probably. And again, we just hope for the best, so. The downrange contract. Let's pay attention to that. Yep, and we got the appropriate amount of sounding. We just got to go downrange and reach an altitude of at least 140. So, shouldn't be a problem to check those off and just basically collect our free 450 confidence. Alright. Scooch you over so that I can still see my orbital info, or will orbital info fit under here? Ah, yeah, that's convenient. Just the more you play Kerbal Space Program, the more of your view becomes filled with MechJet windows. 50 seconds to Miko. You're usually play on a 1080p screen too. I tried once. My monitor supports what? I don't know, something larger. It just didn't go very well. None of the menus are really formatted for anything beyond 1080. But, it would be super nice if I could move MechJeb windows off to a secondary monitor. I guess the feature I wanted in KSP always was to be able to put the map view on a separate monitor and have the in-flight view on the primary, just so I could have both views open at the same time. That would have been hella cool, but probably not going to actually be a thing. Oh, RCS to arm. Let the engine light, beauty ring drop away. After fairing sept, we are going to disengage autopilot, and I will take the ball. Fairing sept. Fairing sept. There it is at 120. Clink. Alright, and disengage. Can we maybe stop you from bouncing around so much, perhaps? Wouldn't that be much nicer? Alright, no. Forward, good. Surface horizontal, please execute. Alright, total runtime. Why is this one 48 seconds? The other one was 50-something seconds. Oh, is it because it's combined in with this runtime? That's what's going on. I got it. So the initial 8 seconds of runtime plus the 48 seconds gets you 56 seconds. 56.7. Whichever. So we've got 56, it's 2 minutes 40 something. So we're going to come up on our ignition point here pretty soon. Your old 1920 by 1080 screen wasn't enough for MechJeb, so you bought a bigger one. It does make a difference. I mean, like, the resolution isn't any better, but all your menus are bigger. They take up the same amount of screen proportionally. But, you know, it just is. Oh, yeah, we should have lit the engines a while ago, so let's just, boom, go for throttle up. All 4 chambers are go. And yeah, this time we don't have to shut down at any particular moment. We're just going to burn for broke. You could put info screens in a secondary with some KRPC trickery. Yeah. Yes. This is very true. It, however, requires effort. Just not real big on that. Now I got a 2650 by 14.4. Allows you to play with Principia. Ooh. Yeah, I think, whenever I should have some money. Well, I think graphics card is next on my list. Ye old 1060 is not happy so much anymore. God, when did I buy that card? 2017? Yeah, something like that. It's probably coming up on time. You know what I mean? Can we get some pictures? Visible imaging running. Micrometeorite running. How are we looking for resource? Oh, hey. We are still clocking numbers on the downrange. That's good. We looking on electric charge. Ooh, we are showing a battery drain. Man, we are really off angle to the sun, though. I am not at all surprised by that. Ascent guidance, please get out of the way. Yeah, 85% exposure on our solar panels, so this thing might not last as long as we want it to, but maybe we'll just shut down one of the experiments and... Yeah, that one's going to take 90 days. You can wait. Let's get the quick visual imaging stuff, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, we're still a minute 30 from Apogee. Not that it really matters. Principia is great. You can't play without it now. Really? I don't know, like, I'm scared to take that leap just because I tend to use save files for a long time, and I know what it does to save files. So 1050 Ti, still happy with it. Hey, nice. So I have been kind of beating on mine. Maybe it's why it's not happy with me. Alright, we're going to light the unguided stage in 3, 2, 1. Punch it. Alright, solid light on the 1250. Flame out on the rings. Yeah, we got a lot of deviation here. Once you try it, yeah, that's why I'm scared to try it. I tried KSP once, and look what happened to me. Oh wow, that is a lot of wiggle. Man, yeah, we must have had some kind of thrust failure on one of our set motors. I really should tuck those in so that their torque against each other isn't quite so pronounced. Should you have one not light as fully as the other? Because holy heck, I mean, we're still going to hit orbit. There it is. And then some. But that's still just like, man, ouch. Foop. It's a learning curve, a bit steep, but nothing unimaginable. You get the hang of it eventually. Fair. Alright. Tink, and we'll just wiggle free of our set stage there. How are we looking on... Okay, so we got a ways to go on this 6 kilometer downrange thing. We'll just warp until that's done. 6 million, 6,000 kilometers. 6kk downrange. Which is pretty dag darn intercontinental. Where are we now that we got that box checked? We will never know. It is nighttime. Alright, we launched from, yeah, here-ish, and we're basically over the North Pole somewhere. We'll take it. Hey, contract complete. Cha-ching. Pay dirt. How are we doing on electric charge? We still... that's the one I'm looking for. Hey, batteries are staying kind of topped off, so that's good. We're going to get some of that visual imaging science, even though the camera only points at Earth half the time. And it's spinning. No one honestly cares about that, right? This is definitely not cheating. How are we doing? Where's our science payout? Up to 6.3. There's another 1.7. Ting. Yeah, this thing's just going to make a couple of passes as it radios in scientific data. Ding, there's another 1.7. Basically, every biome it can cross over is another 1.7. Ding. Nice. Wildly uncomfortable in stock. His planner is unique in its flexibility. Interesting. Ding. Over the tropics. Up to 20. Yeah, alright, let's we'll leave the micrometeorite detector off for right now. Telemetry analysis, we don't need you. Avionics, yeah, early TV camera, waiting. Let's take a quick look at what biomes we've got. Oh, what are we running? Well, what biome are we on? I don't know. We're over a biome. It's running. Let's see if it's 2 minutes in this one. Ding, there it is. Oh, there's another tiny one we passed over. And then 2. Oh, there's another one. 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like it's just kind of cleaning up a little bit. Radioing in what it can. I'll take it. Alright, let's head back to the Space Center. Let's spend some of that science to get our researchers researching so I don't have to fire them all. And then I guess we start planning our next moves. I know what our next launcher is going to look like. We're still building the launch pad for it. We've got a lot of upgrades that we need to do. And basically, yeah, if we want to upgrade here, which, and we need to upgrade here so that we can do flight planning. We have to do an upgrade here so that we can do flight planning, which means we need to research this node here, Lunar Range Comms. We'll plop that one on next. Ding. I guess we should get EDL. Hypersonic flight, though, has the X-15 cockpit, which means we could clean up our X-Planes program and get that one done. With this, we can rake in a bunch of science with flying film cameras. So what we got here, 10 and 12. That's 22. We got 14 and a half. And maybe we should do primitive solar panels next. And Digicom. Digicom. It's only 8 science. Man, oh man. Crew survivability. That would also be good. Alright. Our next steps are basically the communication satellites contract and lunar impactor orbiter contracts, or crewed orbit. Crewed orbit, we got to do this one to get. We have to unlock basic capsules before we can start doing that, which means we got to get survivability. That's what, 10 and 15. That's 25 before we can spend that 22. And we need EDL and human rated EDL. That is a lot of science. Our next science unlock is way down here. This is a tough call. Long, long way to crewed flights. Perhaps. So I think with the booster we have now, plus EDL, with adjustable heat shield and this stuff, we can fly some film cameras for a while and rake in some science. I mean, it's not going to like not raking it in, but we can. It's a good way to up our ability to collect science points, and it's relatively cheap because we can fly it all in our PP4W. We don't have to use our upgraded vehicle while we're waiting for it. And so, like, technically speaking, it's not a bad plan. It does give us time to research more things, I guess. It's 10. We'll have 4 left, and maybe I'll just go ahead and give them some basic solids to play with. So I think we're going to try that first. We're going to have to deorbit on solids, which is going to be fun, but whatever. It is what it is. So I guess with that unlocked, and they're gonna do Digicom, or not Digicom, they're gonna do lunar range, and then they're gonna do EDL. I guess we should switch those. We can do EDL now. Start prototyping stuff. Yeah, that'll be ready in May. It's currently January, which means we can we could prototype out something, but you know, we can fly our basic film camera and then recover it, and yeah, profit, I guess. Our launch site will be done this September. I'm hoping that we'll have. I think we do have all the stuff unlocked for our LV. It's just we don't have a lot of money for tooling. I do want to check. We need to upgrade some buildings, like for real. We need to upgrade buildings, which means it's probably time to take a new contract. Oh yeah, we haven't even hit peak funding on this thing yet, and we're just walking up the ladder on this. But we do have to get that that cockpit upgrade so that we can complete these last 2 marks on this contract. So back to early satellites. We basically, man, I thought we had just crossed into a new year. Yeah, it's January. So what is this line for? I guess this is 1 year after you accept the thingy. But yeah, we're kind of walking the curve here. Maybe 6 months would be here-ish. I wish I knew what these divisors were. Yeah, we got 20 grand left in our year 3 funding, and then our year 4 funding. I guess that's all of year 4. Your admins are very Soviet of you. Hey, they were chosen for their benefits that they provide. Green is current date, red is deadline. Yeah, but like this, like what's the difference between this, and what is the length of time between this and this? Living up to your name. We are not here to subvert anyone. No. Horizon is years. Yes. Is it? I mean, does it start? Is this January 1 per line? It's January 1 per line. Because if this is current date, we are currently at 24 January 1958. So, like, yes, the distance between this line and this line is a year, but I would like to know what date is this line and what date is that line. And I'd like to know, like, how much funding does this line represent, and how much line does this much funding represent? 27 February. Years from the start of the program acceptance. Ah, gotcha. Okay. So, since I accepted at 27 February, that line there is 27 February. And so over the course of the next year, the funding's going to start high and then it's going to plummet off. So, like, once we're here-ish, it's probably better to take a new contract or take a new program, shut this one down, and get more money, because early lunar probes, that'd be great. Lunar flyby, impactor, orbiter. Orbiter's a bit out of our range right now. Can't remember what the vertical lines are. There are definitely some specific value. Yes! Excellent. Targeted satellites, we definitely need our big launcher for this, but 144 a year, not great. Com network, 125 ComSat payload, and I think the orbit's ridiculous. I want to say like 4.5 million kilometers by like 800 kilometers, which is going to require a bigger launcher. But once we have it, doing it in 2 years shouldn't be a problem. Once we have built up the stock to do it. Same thing here. Like, doing this in 2 years, that's awesome payout. I would, be perfect to do. We need our big boy launcher to do it. So I think targeted satellites will probably be the thing we accept next, just to help get our bigger launcher underway. I honestly, I know we can't do the geostationary, but I do wonder if we can do some of these on our existing launcher, and that's why the payout is so low. The goal of this program to put satellites with different payload requirements in specific orbits and more challenging orbits. Geostationary orbit, because we only have 3 years to do it, I don't know if I really want to accept it, because the payment's pretty low and we can't complete it until we have our bigger launcher. Geostationary, we cannot do that on our existing craft. Well, I guess, I don't know. Either way, we have determined that we're going to wait about another year before we cancel this so that we can collect the higher income, which means we are waiting on research. Yeah, EDL will be done in May 29th. So right now we're just going to bankroll a bunch of money. Probably... we don't have to duplicate it yet. That's not worth spending the money. Reconditioning. More science just got radioed in. Sweet. And yeah, stop warp. Wow, magnetic scan. Earth space low transmitted 6.6. I thought we had more science than that. Oh no, it couldn't have updated our total. It said 6.6. What happened to our science? Did it just disappear? That's interesting. Okay, then. Ding. Alright, we got one done. How's our research looking? 529. You knew that already. It's only March. Integration. Let's keep them working. Duplicate, please. Close. Now, pay us out a little bit more. Visible imaging radioed in again for 1.7. I think after our next build, we'll probably jump out to that thing and hold on, are we seriously going to build another one before our research completes? I mean, that's fine with me. Duplicate. Close. Yep. And in EDL. Ding. All right. Let's go. We're just going to load pictures and pinholes so we know what we're doing with. We're going to build the craft, and then when we go to edit, we'll just load the new one and go from there. So we'll probably be doing some testing for a little bit here. We're going to try to do this with as few upgrades to the core vehicle as possible, so keep that in mind. I think honestly we're going to try to do away with our spinny stage if we can. Although honestly, based on that's at what 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we need at least another kilometer per second out of our stupid spin stabilized stupidity. So I guess we're keeping it because we can't not. Alright, so since this is basically a fact-finding mission, we can scooch you guys out. Put you over here. Let's go to science. Not comms, but science. I improved film camera. 0.6 of a ton. How? Holy moly. I... Okay. He's thick, boy. That's for certains. God, so much fairing. And we need to retrograde it. Oh no, I guess we can move the sample. Well, let's adjust this to carry. Let's up our sample capacity slot to 4. And so maybe we put a decoupler. We move the samples into this thing. It'll have a heat shield on it. It's well-fed equipment. Dude. I am very curious as to what our total delta V with this ridiculous monstrosity on it. God. Cheese and rice. 9744. We are barely scraping orbit. It's aerodynamic. No need to stuff it into a fairing. You are correct. You are 100% correct. We could just use a proc structure part that comes up and kind of angles into this distance, and then a nose cone, and be done with it. Although, like, man, de-spinning this thing would be a great idea and would look not nearly as trashy. Oh. Oh, what was the name of that movie? The Man from Planet 9? They did the remake with Keanu Reeves. It's just throwing me some vibes, dude. It's throwing me many vibes. Decoupler, disable staging. You have staging. Do you stage from the top or from the bottom? You know what? We're not gonna worry. Day the Earth stood still. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Man, and how long can I stretch your runtime for? You're currently at what, 8 seconds? You can go out to 20, 52 seconds. Okay. So if we limit the thrust on those now, but if we angle them and they don't burn correctly, they're the source of your problem, stupid. I'm trying to think of how I could de-spin this, or at least maybe not spin stabilize it. And maybe we just don't spin it. Maybe this thing is chonky enough to keep us settled and pointed in the correct direction. I mean, what's our TWR on that stage? It's only 2-ish. So, I mean, we got that going for us. Oh my, oh my. Let's drop you down to about there, so you're not looking quite so ridiculous. Let's... No, you know what? I'm definitely going to unhook from here. And set this aside so that we can focus on the real work that needs to be done up here, which is returning something, anything, realistically. Alright, so let's just say this is our return thing, which honestly, if we squeeze that down a little bit, we could maybe fit it inside of here. Huh. I wonder if maybe if we put the heat shield on top, and that could act as our... No, it's not a very aerodynamic nose cone. It's kind of a blunt force. Okay. Alright, y'all. One, I'm very sorry to do this, but I've had a lot of coffee, and now I need to go visit Little Cosmonaut's room again, and it'll give me a second or two to think about how I want to build this. So give me about 30 seconds, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, one, this is an unguided stage. Let's get a heat shield on it and just say that we're going to fire it retrograde. We're just going to have to time the firing, so we don't really care where it comes down, right? Thermal, adjustable heat shield, plop. How close to that inner diameter are you? And we're at 12% utilization, so I think honestly we can dumb up the length a bit, save some mass here, even if it costs us a bunch in tooling. That gives us room to put our whatchamahoo's parachute. We'll drop the fillet down a bit too, because why not? And that gives us something to stack it on. I just wonder if that heat shield will fit in that container, because I know that's about the appropriate length of 1.025. So you're at like what, a meter? Yeah, let's drop you down to like 8. Yeah, let's do 9. And look, and the inner will take you into about there. Now 800 should be good. And we'll go 850 on the outside, not outset. Dummy. Ding. Which requires us to move you bottom to 875-ish. No, wait. It's 800 is the inner corner. 850 is the outer corner, so 825 should be our splitting the difference. And we need a parachute, which will be in the parachute section. Dummy. No, or we'll just do a radial and then size it down. Lock to 90, please. So let's actions, because why this is in here we don't know. Previous size, yeah, should be good enough. Apply. Sehr gut, thank you. Alright, and now we need to decouple and deorbit it. So, payload. No, not payload. Coupling. Boop. How much engine do we need to decouple you? Because we don't really have thrusters. We could do it with some RCS. That would at least give us some kind of control. So core, basic, what kind are you? Heat sink. Can we move up to? No, sure can't. Okay. So I mean, I guess really step motors are our option. We'll just try for 1 for right now and see how much delta V that gets us, because we're not going to be in a very high orbit. We should be doing more of these pointed through the center of mass. That gets us about 170 meters per second. Is that going to be enough to deorbit? One way to find out. Back to coupling. Let's get another decoupler down here. Base you out a bit. There we go. And then we can tuck the whole thing in here quite nicely, can't we? Can we? I forgot about the nose cone. Nose cone goes on top. Dummy. Smart money would have put the... Nope, never mind. I'm not gonna sit here and overanalyze and overthink every aspect of this build right now. Very, very, very sorry. We're just gonna do something quick and easy and dirty just to get something up and flying. About 1 meter, right? We'll adjust the inner once we know what the outer is supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, goofy as hell, but it works, I guess. It could be worse. Let's go with that. It could be a lot worse. Let's just go for a 1x1. Size out the inner. There we go. Oh, how much battery are we taking with us? That's going to be a big... Oh, hey, hold up. Tank UI, you are still carrying fuel that you do not need. Remove. And let's just remove the electric charge and add it back in so we got our full complement there. Close and close. There we go. Sputnik 1 moment, right? Quite. Alright, yeah, man, all of these stages and everything else. So that's, we don't know. Let's scooch this down so we can see what our staging actually looks like. Alright, so where's that? Alright, so that can arm with parachute. That should be our last. Which one are you? You're okay. That separates that stage. You need to be down here because that's engine, ullage, thruster, and what are you? That's you. You go up here, and you need to fire when the decoupler below you fires. It's not that one, not that one, not that one, that one. There you go. So that's you, and then get rid of that and that. And what? So that is the nose cone. You can probably be way down here. We're going to get rid of you pretty early on. Actually, do you have any favorite Soviet rocket engines or rockets? Man, I mean, it's hard not to be a fan of the R7, just generally. The Korolev Cross is just beautiful. How do we cover that? Just take the fire bucket. It'll be fine. Yeah. So it's really hard to say if I have like a favorite rocket. Like, they all have their distinct moments and, you know, their place in history and their own glory. So saying like this one's universally my favorite because of XYZ. Nah. They're all just pretty dang cool. But, I mean, as far as like being a workhorse, you gotta admire R7 for technically still being mostly the same and still in service all of these years later. Alright, so that's nose cone. Yeah, nose cone will probably fire that. That will be like a standard stage SEP. And so now that covers that stuff. Although you don't have any battery in you, do you? We should probably add some Forkin batteries. I honestly don't even know if we need this decoupler. Why bother decoupling that? All of deorbit's going to be on this thing, but because it's too complicated to remove, we're going to leave it for right now. We're going to grab this thing back because we've got a pile of work we have to do with it. Grab you again and scooch you down to someplace more appropriate, like there. Or right about there. Leave a gap for the Kraken. Alright, and so, yeah, everything below the fairing, we need to, well, oh man, I bet you we are over tonnage for this avionics unit. But we need to correct for our fairing first off, so let's do, oops, and we'll just set you aside, fine. And let's switch this out to an interstage. We don't need the decoupler on it anyway, so that doesn't matter. Decoupler disabled. And then you go here. And then you go here. Your diameter is what? 2 meter? 2 meter, 2 meter, 2 meter, 2 meter. No, base size. Dummy. I love Zenit. Falcon's larva. That, I can appreciate that. Good answer. And so we scooch you up to, I don't know, here maybe? Let's scooch you up to there-ish. No, a little far. Let's go to that. I wonder if we can angle this appropriately to hit the bottom of that without it causing too much strife for everyone involved. And then we just tuck you up like so. Boop. There we go. Alright, now let's try to get the height dialed in. Oh, no. Let's do it with extra height so we're not squirreling away dumb stuff. And yeah, we just want to plop one on for now. Adjust that top diameter. 1.5 meter? That looks about right. Nope, too much. Alright, and yeah, right about there. Perhaps, maybe? We'll need to retain the fairing decoupler, because I don't think that thing's gonna pull away very cleanly, but oh, we've uglied this up so much. We've uglied up all of it. Alright, yeah, let's scooch you in. That looks pretty good, and we'll scooch you down. That looks pretty awful. Wow, that is... Yeah, totally not a spy camera. Man, this is... I'm a little embarrassed here. Alright, where did you come? No, bro. Alright, you definitely need to be up here somewhere. Alright, so let's walk through our staging here. Main engine, clamps, and then that should be mid-stage, XLR11 plus ullage. That's good. So what are the rest of you? Oh, and thrusters. You go up here, you go up here with them. Did I miss a decoupler? No. Okay, that's nose cone, yeah? Yeah, that's nose cone. Nose cone should happen after XLR11 deploy. Okay, that's beauty ring sep. That's payload deploy. You need to be someplace else. Alright, hold on. So that's that. And then where's beauty ring? There's beauty ring. You come next. And then that's you and you. Where's the decoupler for you to fire off? There it is. You come down here, please. It's just me hearing the distorted hangar music. It sounds so funny. Is it really distorted? That's interesting. That's very interesting. I will have to look into that before next time. Many apologies. Alright. So that is beauty ring sep, and then you and you and you, yes. And then after that, we could ditch that, should we so choose to, and that's nose cone sep. I guess we want to do nose cone, because there's no motors on the nose cone. So we want to do that after we're done burning all our engines, I guess. So, yeah, that... Pop the nose cone. Oh, beauty ring sep. That you need to come down here. Boom, boom, yeah, and then nose cone, and then retrograde fire, and then that. Okay, maybe just me. It sounds Willy Wonka-fied. Also, man, that's interesting. I've done nothing to alter the music. Boom, boom, boom. You need to be in here with these people, and your ejection power and ejection torque need to be ramped way the hell up. Okay, save. Let's run a quick sim on... the rocket, the Earth. Oh, the day the rocket stood still. Simulate. Simulate now. Okay. I guess we'll just throw this into a polar orbit and see what the hell happens. I don't know if we have enough delta V for that. I guess we'll find out, eh? Oh man, it's so ugly. If it weren't for the science. I don't think I've ever actually flown this film return camera before. Oh, I forgot to check for avionics. Oh no. Alright, let's just shoot for 250 by 250. Yeah. Wow. 9390 is our total delta V. That is going to be a barely. And that's including our return delta V. Oh shit. Engage autopilot. Let's see what the hell happens. I don't know if this is gonna work. I think we're probably gonna have to re-optimize for a bunch of things, especially if we want to launch Polar. We're launching Polar to see what our total discrepancy is. We could lower our target apoapsis and periapsis and bring them down to like 180 just to really kind of skim it. That would definitely aid our deorbit motor in some of its work. But we're gonna try a full on up test, full up down, and we'll just see what the hell happens. RCS is to arm. Oh man, Amo3213, thank you very much for the follow. Sorry, I must have been away when that happened. My apologies. Yeah, I don't for a minute trust what MacJeb is telling us over here. It's a 1540. Oh, is that telling us we're going to be a kilometer per second shy? That's very interesting. What's your stop stage at? Yeah, we're gonna need you to stop at like 4, probably. How about stop at stage 4? Oh, good. Overheat warnings on the nose cone. Oh, there it goes. Uh-oh. Oops. That's now fire bucket. Yeah, I certainly have my doubts here. Yeah, it looks like we're probably gonna have to change out that very generic nose cone for like an actual fairing, which will weigh a lot more. Self-destructive fairing. It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It took care of the staging for us. What more do we need? Everything's great. It's going very well. So next stage, MechJub really doesn't tend to do very well with the unguided stages, so I'm going to take over at stage 6. We'll just kind of let this walk its way up. We'll turn on the photography. 2 years it takes to run everything. Okay. This is going to be a much heavier payload than I anticipated, and we have no solar panels and barely any battery. So, do we run it, collect what we can, and then send it back incompletified? I'll transfer data here. I guess you don't really have any data, because, yeah, unmet requirement. Unmet requirement. Does it have to be orbital? I don't think we have the infrastructure to fly this camera, so we're probably going to have to go back and revisit a lot of this. Also, I don't know if we can even put this camera in orbit. So, you know, there's that. We'll just let this finish out. I'm going to level off across the horizon. We're going to fire our next stage and go for broke, I guess. We'll just see what happens. I don't think we're going to hit orbit, though. I think we're going to have to revisit this and put the lower tier camera on it, because I know we can fly in support. I don't think we have the capacity. I keep clicking the wrong one. Oh, and I did it again. Direction forward. Yeah, inertial, surface horizontal, execute please. We'll see how well this staging event happens, but it's a good bet we're going to have to redo all of this, so sorry for wasting the last, I don't know, 30 minutes of your time. Alright, and staging, yeah, let's just do it. 3, 2, 1, go! Hey, we didn't lose avionics. That's good. 6, we'll be at 7.3. We might, yeah. If I had timed this better, there was a maybe that we could have hit orbit, but I don't think it's gonna actually be a thing. And maybe if we go to the smaller film camera, we can, I don't know, undo the spin stage, or maybe get rid of it entirely by expanding our XLR11 stage. Yeah, it doesn't look too good for us right now. If we expand the XLR11 stage, maybe we can keep the HTP. Yeah, that is definitely not an orbit. Let's just revert back to the VAB. We're going to change out. We're going to go for the lower tier camera. I mean, there's still some data we can collect in there, so it is what it is. We don't have the infrastructure to support something staying in orbit for 2 years. The solar panels are not good enough. The batteries are too heavy. Everything sucks, basically. All right then. Well then, I think it's just going to be easier to reload our initial starting point. Pictures and pinholes. Load. Oh, I'm dumb. I saved over it. Photography experiment is pretty tough, especially early on. Yeah, I can see that now. Okay, well at least we still have the main fairings on this one, so we can honestly just disconnect from down here, pull that off to the side. We can then disconnect from here, put that off to the side, and then disconnect from here. And we'll just delete you because we don't need it. Science, early film camera. We could do some bio stuff too. I mean, I guess if we make this well enough, we could make it interchangeable in that regard. We'll just plop you on here for right now. We can get rid of that because we're going to go with a full fairing again. Or do we want to return the entire... if we return the entire film canister, that is... it seems to... it feels more legitimate to return the entire film camera. Putting it way out on top of stuff feels wrong-ish. So this is what we're going to do for now. That gives us a good basis of things. Come back here and we'll expand this out. I know this is dumping up our weight. We're going to go for 1.5 just to really work it in there. And we're also going to up these to 3, lock to 90. We just want them angled through the center of mass, if at all possible. So let's bring that up. Yeah, wow, that's pretty low. Let's drag them down a little bit. I don't know. The me with much more time wants to spend a good deal building out a chassis and a framework for those motors to make them look pretty, but I think before we actually start flying this thing, we will I will address that, so that know that the actual service version of this spacecraft will look a little bit different. I should put a spacer ring on it though, because otherwise those are going to be clipping into that tank, so that much I will do real quickly, very quickly. Structure, cone, smooth cone, hollow cylinder. We'll adjust for sizing here in a second. Plop. Where's that decoupler? There we go. Scoochy, scooch, 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 scooch. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. We'll just... Yeah, 1's probably fine, and inner 0.99 gives us plenty of room. Just drop the length until we've got enough coverage. And then we just tuck the whole assembly in. We want it to be about like that. And now we just got to make it so that our motors aren't hitting anything, which they totally are. Excellent. So pop that length up just one more. Yeah, that looks like they're clear. All right, so that's our return motor thing. Oh man, this is so... It's just plain fugly. Let's drop that to 1. We need to clip you on here like that, and then we're going to try this experiment one more time. Oh, how do we have less delta V now? Oh, that's fun. Is our staging all forked up? Yeah, it sure is. Alright, so that is boom, 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 good, boom, yeah. You don't need to go yet. You two light at the same time. You need to be down here. No, here. Thank you. So that's bang, bang, boom. No, where's... No. Yeah. You go next. Alright, so that's those and those. That's the beauty ring. That's payload deploy. Oh, you need to be down here with that. There we go. And that's you. And gosh, is that the right decoupler? Oh, man. There's like 3 decouplers stacked here in this very, very tiny space. Alright, so no. That's payload deploy, and that can go... No. Boom, boom. Yeah. No. Yeah. And that's that one and parachute. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all sorted. Totally not a spy satellite. MK1. Save. 9419. Still not looking great on Delta V front, but I don't think we'll go for a whatchamahoozits. Yeah, we'll just leave that fairing alone. We'll try not to go for polar, because now we're down to 9280. Alternatively, spying Rodriguez. Alternatively, spying Rodriguez. Simulate. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get a complete test out of this thing. If it works, cool. You know, I can spend some time making it look pretty. I was really supposed to decide on a new program and start building our new launcher, but here we are, making our old launcher do things it just doesn't want to do. And spin stabilizing a stage that carries a camera. Excellent. Let's go current. Let's go 180 by 180. And do not attach altitude. Engage autopilot and go. We might not get very many good pictures, but hopefully it'll be worthwhile. You never know. RCS to ARM. See if we can just speed through some of this stuff so we can get the logistics out of the way. Tell you to stop at stage 5, because at that point I don't trust MechJeb to handle this really at all. That's just me. When you should have auto-strutted better. Hey, that is some... Okay, yeah, seems like you're handling it well. Fair enough. Okay, good. So far so good. Nothing has exploded. We are still in flight. Everything's going well. This is fine, and everything is fine. We did not adjust our avionics, so we could have a problem here at staging event, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, yeah, we should still be able to get up to altitude enough to get rid of the fairings. That's what I'm worried about being what puts us over the top. That is a lot of fairing. Should have gone for conic instead of egg, because I think you can get slightly less mass in there. Yep. Manually light the engine, insufficient avionics. We are nowhere near the place where we should deploy these fairings, but we're gonna, because that gives us our avionics control back. Thank goodness. And let's go ahead and kick on planetary photography whilst we are not spinning. Hope that didn't screw us up too much. Oh, we might actually make it to orbit today. By the hair of our chinny chin chins. Yes, maybe we drop that target Apo and parry to like 155. Okay, good. That runs at 7 minutes per biome. I don't know how much battery it's going to soak up to use, though. What's our current draw? 0.14. Alright, at the end of this stage, we'll disengage autopilot, lock to horizon, and give it a couple of seconds, and then basically burn for broke. Probably. Gulp. 1420 left in the tanks. 1 minute 42 to apogee. There's that. Disengage autopilot. Let's just go ahead and set throttle to full. Advanced direction forward and inertial surface horizontal execute. Alright, we've got what, 55 seconds, so we should go at about the 40-second mark, give or take. Our TWR is pretty good on that stage, but no clue on how well it's going to behave for us, so we got that going for us. And transfer data here. It's got 2 slots of data filled. That's fun. we're going to stage SEP in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Oh, that is a big old wobble. Go, baby, go. Please, please, please make it to orbit. Oh, it's gonna be tight. Very interesting. All this money we're going to spend on tooling this and getting it ready is money that we could be spending on tooling and getting ready our 350-ton launcher that's going to be in service for 1 billion years. Which maybe we'll just go give that a test flight. I got about an hour left before I have to shut down the stream, so maybe we'll do testing there instead. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Dang it. Really? Ah, so close. Not in orbit. Interesting. If we can't do these camera experiments on this launcher, it does present kind of a problem. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Maybe. Hold on. What if we put the... Oh gosh, the heat shield is submerged. Oh no, the heat shield's down here. If we put the heat shield on top, just to further throw off our center of mass on this ridiculous vehicle. And then it wouldn't matter if we went into orbit. We'd do our half lap or whatever and then come just straight back. We could get rid of those SEP motors. We could collect some data. And we could just not worry about it being suborbital because, I mean, look, we're going to get 4.5 science out of this already. How far around the lap are we going to take? Oh, yeah. So I don't know if we'll get exactly to retrograde, but hey, look at that. 5.5 science. Ding. Done. Should we stage it off or should we wait? I think we should stage it off and see if it's aerodynamically stable. Maybe wait and see if we get all the way around to pointing straight up. Wouldn't that be nice? Give us a little bit more of a shot, more time to rotate. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're going to hit the air here any second now. So maybe we just use it to buy as much time as we can. Like 3, 2, 1, boom. Nope, still descending, but it's a thing. You know, let's just, while we're rolling the dice. Oh, is parachute armed? Is parachute not armed? Now parachute is armed. Kathunk. Alright, let's see if our canister is aerodynamically stable. My guess is no, it's going to burn up and explode, but I'm here and I'm curious. Because if for some absolutely idiotic reason this flight profile actually works, look at your career on the spyware. Looks surprising how few failures there have been. I agree, but thanks for jinxing it. I think I've got, well, let me look. I have it pulled up here. Let me bring this out of time warp just in case. RP1 analytics. Launches, repeatables. Oh, no, there's leaders. Okay. I'll say I have, we'll go take a look at the screen here in a minute, but I definitely have more than Vladimir Barman uh, appointed to stuff. But let me just watch this explode, and then we'll go take a look. Because, yeah, I think I have everyone... I have all the leaders assigned except for the external contractors. Alright. Yeah, I'll say our pronated wiggle has increased, and I think, honestly, that speaks to our benefit. Yeah, the last two columns of contracts are pretty much useless. Interesting. Why hasn't this exploded yet? Oh, last two columns of contractors are pretty much useless. Okay. Makes a bit more sense. Seriously, why hasn't this exploded yet? I'm really hoping once we get some air around this thing, it just kind of falls into that heat shield butt down thing. Nope, there's an overheat alarm. Yeah, if that bracket blows, we're gonna lose it. Too much spin, probably. Too much dumb is what's happening here. Too much spin for it to catch enough air to overcome said spin and settle it into something. Bloop. Goodbye. Yep, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Revert flight to vehicle assembly building. Let's just... I will play around with that over the course of the next week and see what we can't suss out for it. Real quick, we're going to go look at leadership. I guess we could fly this thing straight up and let it fall straight back down and collect a bit of science that way. God, that's really dumb. It's a dumb way to spend 4,700 funds. Get some spin stabilized space photography. And say, yeah, I've got I don't have a main contractor or contractor 1 and 2. But you're saying main contractor, these don't so I thought there was something on these where they cost money. I guess not. We could assign... Oh wait, I don't have a chief scientist. Well, let's take care of that right quick. 15% confidence, 5% integration speed, plus 15% for tooling. No. Weird that it shows only one on the website. Agreed. And it's this one. It's not even like of the first two. Plus 10% to science. Yay. Science research speed. Plus 10% science from transmissions and recovery. Oh, that's super useful. But a -8 to integration. Can we offset integration cost somewhere in here? 10% speed of all craft integration, minus 10% speed for researching of all techs. Integration of cockpit parts. Oh, is that Van Allen? Yeah. Flight research, we don't really need. 30% to RCS research. That could be useful for about a day. Avionics research, 5% integration speed of avionic parts, but a 5% confidence hit. Yeah, a confidence hit might not be... 13% funds... Oh, air launch. 10% science bump might be worth the slowdown in integration, honestly. That, like, we're low on science points, and I know that once you hit that, like, lunar era, it skyrockets very quickly, but I think we're a ways off from that, so we're just going to go ahead and bump in Van Allen. Makes things cost more money, but the big bump in research speed. Minus 8% speed is a plus 8% cost at the same time. Shit, you're right. Forks. Oh, because integration is calculated by time, and so it does cost more. Costs more to hire, but they get more efficient faster. Speed of all craft integration, minus 10% speed of researching all techs. That can be overcome, though. So I think we're gonna go ahead and do that. Anyway, moving on. I'll say refresh it and let's see what happens. Do all the leaders show up now? Alright, do we want to try to make this camera thing work with overly optimized stuff, or do we want to test fly a big boy? How are we doing on research? Lunar range comms. We've got 7 science out there. Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to turn on the micrometeorite detector. I don't think it's gonna finish out, basically. Pictures and pinholes. Let's fly you. Dude, just lock the camera already. Boink. Do we even have battery? Yeah, we got full battery. Okay, micrometeorite detector running. Yeah, you're waiting, so you're probably not drawing anything. Battery's still looking good. How's battery still looking good? Does not appear that we have any sun on this spacecraft at all. So let's monitor battery. Yeah, it's a pretty decent draw. And hey, it charges back up. Sweet! Maybe you will last as long as we need you to. Oh, excellent. Alright, back to the Space Center. Now that that little guy's up and running a little better. Trying to get that science, yo. Maybe we try the camera mission going straight up and straight down. I don't think that heat shield's going to put up with that. That is a lot of loading really fast. Needs more datas, though. We could fly the bio experiments on it, do a quick orbit with those, and then bring them home. They are much, much lighter. Well, you know what we need to do? Well, I need to buy some tooling. Oh, I wanted to check where we are on this funding map, if we can close out that program yet. Oh, nope, we're still riding the hill down. Okay. Still making real good money, so... What did I just decide to do? Buy tooling. And maybe test fly the big rocket. The new rocket. The funny looking rocket. So I have a gamma I must unlock. So open. M52. Load. So this is probably the LV we'll be using for a very, very, very long time. With upgrades and capacities and everything like that, it's going to be a fun vehicle to work with. Good capability and lots of potential for upgrade. parts, namely the RDO 105 will get stuck on here at some point to replace the XLR 11, and then we can start doing real things for real. But yeah, with upgrades and everything like that, this is going to be a long-standing vehicle that we're going to fly for a very long time, because I tend to just get stuck in it. I hope to, I don't know, innovate past it quickly so that we can get to crewed lunar stuff in a timely manner. We've been doing pretty good about staying ahead of historical milestones. Not that that's the primary focus or anything, but good old Chonky Boy here. Chonky Boy is chonky. Oh, we will. We will see it fly very shortly. I'm here to purchase tooling. I don't know what I have left to tool. Probably just the balloon tanks, because they're ungodly expensive. Can't afford tooling on that, which means we certainly can't afford tooling on that. Let me pop the fairing. See if we can tool anything on our much bigger XLR 11 stage, because I believe I switched Isogrid. Why the? Oh, for the shielding. Yeah, we'll go ahead and purchase. It doesn't have shielding now, but it will. It will have shielding, and the avionics. How much is the avionics going to cost? Yeah, purchase tooling. That's good. And then your balloon tank. Yep. Purchase tooling. And spend a lot of money on tooling. Oh man, this thing is going to be expensive as fuck. These guys, y'all need to be tooled too. Tool the little stuff, and use little stuff a lot, because it definitely helps. Can I... there's the helium tank that's just kind of tucked in there. There it is. It's the core for that whole assembly. Need to tool that. Purchase tooling. Thank you very much. We tooled you, and we tooled you, and everything above that we don't really need to tool. You don't get tooled because you're a decoupler. We can tool some stringers. Yay! Sorry, but yes, we are going to see this fly. Let me just spend all my money first. That's already tooled. What about you? Tooled. That's a decoupler, so you don't get tooled. Tool stringers. Yep. Purchase tooling. Best 36 bucks I ever spent. These tanks should already be tooled. Yeah. And the blue ones. Are you tooled? You're tooled? Sweet. So I think the only things we have left to tool on this are the big balloon tanks down here. And we're going to correct this clipping, because that makes me unreasonably irritated. There we go. Is this avionics tooled? Probably not. Tool avionics, can't afford. Already spent our load. Bummer. So just make sure these stringers are tooled, and then we'll go. We got a lot of tooling left to purchase. 3 big balloon tanks and at least 2 avionics. It's already tooled. Sweet. What about you? Tool. Purchase tooling. Must blast Apollo milestones. Tooled. Good. Tooled. Good. Yeah, I don't think I changed these from the last iterative design. That big fairing there needs to be tooled. Purchase tooling. Thank you. Man, we could build one of these a year. How convenient. Yeah, there's all these little things in here that need to be tooled also, but I think when we have the money to do the avionics, we'll touch in on that. So let's get this little guy out to the pad and do a little testy flight. Alright, let's put our fairings in an appropriate space. So that's booster SEP, that's fairings, that's staging, gambas, beauty ring SEP, XLR 11 SEP plus that, and then payload deploy, save, and sure, simulate. Let's do it. I got a little bit to go. How's it going, Bullet? Good to see you. Oh, it'll probably take us 25 minutes to get this in orbit anyway, because oh boy. The part count is unfriendly, we will say. Oh, I should have waited until daytime. Daylight hours would be much, much better. Then you can see all of my glaring imperfections. Yes. Boing. Alright. There she is. Yeah, I guess we'll go to 250 by 250, and then we'll burn. That should put the entire XLR-11 in orbit, and that's that 3132 meters per second up here at the top. And we'll see what we can get from there. I just added this gamma stage as an intermediary. That's kind of what I wanted to see fly. Give it a good test run today, so we'll take care of that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go into a polar orbit. Why not? Engage autopilot. You don't need to stop at stage 6. You can stop whenever the hell you feel like it, because none of this is unguided. And ignition. All engines running, clamps are off, and we are off the pad. Clear the tower and going. Woohoo! There's our roll program. Yeah, so it's basically an R7, just with a gamma, twin gamma 2s, and then an XLR11 up top. Because I feel like it's a particular handicap to force yourself to use a blend of engines. Build Crass in 2 stages. First I build perfectivity, and then I spoil it right by reducing part count. See, first I build a basic analog, and then I ruin it by adding a billion little accessory parts. Like the clamps for this are hidden inside the tube, and I built this whole like super structure thing to hold the boosters, to make it look like the boosters are held on to the core stage. Like, you know, there's this whole thing that's got the retro, and then there's, you know, these holding plates to these clamp rings. A big clamp ring down here, and then another one here with like strut bracing, and of course it's all braced to the booster because I got real bored. And the sad part is I can't figure out why the 2 boosters are unbalanced, and we'll see that during booster set. It looks like real thing. I mean, I'm happy with the way it looks. I just wish I could get a nice correlative stick for the 2 boosters, and I intentionally left enough room here so if I got really hard up for tonnage to orbit, I could stick another pair of boosters, and it would be, you know, 2 sets of 2 and then 2 sets of 1 each, so for a 6 booster variant. Should I ever feel so inclined or desperate. The plumes look real good. Waterfall is probably the most amazing graphics mod this game's had in a very long time. Place for casters, definitely. Ah, yeah. Good point, Basila. Good point. Alright. 10 seconds to booster set, and that'll free up at least half of our part count. All that structural tubing and bracing and stuff is a lot of little bitty parts. And they're off. Boosters are free and clear. And now it looks extra awkward. A little top heavy. A little thick around the edges there. It's 3.5 meters up top. Which I think in the last playthrough I do, it just had a 3-meter top. And that ended up being a pretty limiting factor, because inside the fairings you can only get out to about 2.5 meters. With this, we can get out to basically a full 3 meters for the payload. And that does make a significant difference. Especially when you're trying to reduce how tall your fairings are. And if you've already paid for the width, then you know it's not too terrible. All right, fairings clearing away. All right, now it's the gamma stage is the untested one, so we'll have to see how well that works out for us. And that was the one that I built out. It wasn't last night. Last night was Saturday. So Friday night was when I built that one out and added it. And basically before that, after this stage, this ullage ring kind of came up to meet the XLR11 stage, and we had no problem getting that into orbit. You prefer 4.1? That's in your Russian blood. Fair enough. All right, 20 seconds to stage set. See how well this goes for us. Will we have enough to ullage in those gammas, I hope. Every time I move the camera and the pitch of the engines change, I get a little palpitation of panic. There's Miko. Staging. Ignition on the gammas. And off with the beauty ring, and we are going. Sweet. And yeah, here's all the fun things I did on Friday. It's a lot cheaper to tool, because basically it's 2 separate tank sizes. So you just buy these tooling on these 2 tiny tanks. Man, those are clipped in a lot more than I thought they were. I should adjust the spacing on that. But yeah, basically I had to purchase tooling for this tank size and this tank size, and they're both pretty cheap. I probably need to purchase tooling for that tank size also. I don't know if I did or not. But it came out being a whole lot cheaper than using a single, like, donut ring to hold all the fuel. And of course, because I'm anal retentive, I split it HTP in 4 tanks and then RP1 across the blue tanks. And which of course meant that I had to put this spider web of plumbing in here, which I'm not strictly speaking happy with, but you know, when it came out to be about 1 in the morning, I was like, you know what, it's time to call it. Let's be done here. And yeah, it turned out I got much better delta V by using 2 gamma 2s instead of a single gamma 3 or 201. Higher thrust and higher ISP, but they do have a higher mass, which we're kind of paying a penalty for, but it seems to be working, even though it looks a little goofy. It's like that barrel-chested dude that always skips leg day, so he's got tiny, scrawny little legs. But, like, huge pecs, massive biceps. Very oddly drawn cartoon character of a rocket. And hey, there's orbit. And we've got 687 meters per second left in the tank. Not bad. And I'm pretty sure we can try to go interplanetary. Why not? Let's arm the RCS. And let's stage that off and try to pull ourselves clear. Make sure all of that functions as it should. There we go. See you later, little guy. Where's the moon? Not that we can hit it, but... Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, let's, boom. Let's burn for broke and see what happens. Not that our inclination is anywhere near correct, but here we are. Oh, how about you hold the program while we're thinking about doing something? Let's at least do something. Yeah, I love building little RCS setups like this. And since they're HDP, we got our two primary HDP tanks, and then the helium tank to pressurize, and that, you know, has plumbing that feeds in, and then there's the lines that come out and go to each of the thruster blocks. I love doing dumb little goofy shit like that, just because I get real bored sometimes. Yet it seems like fun, and I like the result. I think this actually looks, you know, somewhat legitimate. And that's, yeah, that's the LOX tank, which I would like to put a dome over it if I knew for a fact that putting some kind of structure over it, shielding it from the sun, would help reduce boil off. I don't think it will, so I made that isogrid so that I could add MLI layers when the time comes, because when the time comes, this XLR11 is probably going to get switched out for an RD 0105, 0109. Because that'll give us much higher capacity as far as like sending things interplanetary. It will of course require resizing these tanks, because we're going to have what, HTP and kerosene and liquid oxygen, and at different ratios, so there'll be that. But yeah, meh, it'll be alright. We'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll see how much of an interplanetary, if any. There's only 400 meters per second left. Hey, visible imaging, Earth space low forest transmitted. We got another 1.7 science coming in the next day or so. That's cool. Ah, 200, yeah, did we boil off that much? No, you just decided you wanted to flame out. Okay, fine. With 5 seconds left to go? Really, bro? You didn't fail, did you? No, we got... It's a simulation, and we have failures turned off, so that's not even a thing. Alright, you know what? Kill the throttle. And yeah, this was my prototype communication satellite, because I was, again, bored. And I think I had these gained way the hell up. No, they're still at 30 dB. Okay. Spent 8 hours to make a replica of Block D. It's absolutely okay. 8 hours, dude, that's solid. And that's not quite enough to put our piddly little payload to lunar. And that makes me real sad that we basically got, you know, highway robbery for that 250 meters per second. I guess, I don't know, it doesn't even seem that LOX was our limiting factor. We still got 50 LOX in there. I guess maybe I oversized that a little bit in anticipation of boil off. And we didn't really see a whole lot because we didn't park and wait in orbit for a while. So what I want to do is see how much liquid oxygen we boil off over an orbit. And this is a pretty big orbit. Let's turn you off, who cares? Yeah. 1 hour. Yeah, out of comms range. We're gonna slide out of our controllable range. Okay, so basically we'll bleed off that 50 some odd liquid oxygen over the course of an hour. So we're looking at a bleed rate of about 10 per hour. It's not great, but it's not terrible. So if we have to take a 90-minute parking orbit, we should expect that we're gonna lose about 15 units of liquid oxygen. So let's revert back to the VAB. So a buffer of about 50. A little overzealous, admittedly, but it is what it is. So Well, I guess we just... Oh, man. We kind of got to eat it, I suppose. So there's that. And we spent all our money on tooling. Again. Yeah, and we'll sit here and load and buffer for another 5 or 6 minutes. Real mad about that camera thing. And I think honestly we're gonna need the 105 upgrade if we're gonna use this to do lunar impactors or lunar flyby contracts. The payload we have right now is itty bitty. I mean, yeah, it's got those 4 30 dB gained antennas, which is kind of like our mass simulator at the moment, I guess. Nope, that tank does require tooling. Can't afford it. Shucks. Let's try to tool just some of the bitty stuff while we're here. Purchase tooling. Sweet. So, yeah, sorry, we're gonna poke tiny tanks and purchase tooling for like a while. I just don't have much else to do right now. So here we are. Purchase tooling. This little guy will take care of a bunch of them. Tool stringers. Purchase tooling. Sweet. Oh, come on. Really? Really, bro? Tool. 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 We want to get as much of this cost ramped down as we can. That one's already tooled. You should already be tooled. Are you tooled? You're tooled. You're tooled. Sweet. And now the cross section will need to be tooled. Oh, you are tooled. Sweet. Tool. Purchase tooling. That should take care of that stuff, except for our mounting hardware here. Tooling. Yep, there we go. And there is a cross brace on it too. Alright, and that should take care of that stuff. That's tooled. Why do I have 2 here? Oh, because one's the retainer for the tank. That's already tooled. Are you already tooled? You are already tooled. Are you already tooled? Awesome. Alright, I think that does it for those things. We've just got the spider web of plumbing down here. That should be relatively easy to get to, I'm hoping. Is our build time less than a day or less than a year yet? Nope, still 431 days. God, we have a couple of contracts that they give us 2 years to complete. And we can build 1 rocket a year. Isn't that hilarious? Purchase tooling. Your tool. That should take care of all of this stuff because it's basically a big cluster of the same sized parts. We've just got the truss work down here to take care of. Purchase tooling. Come on. Give it back. Tool stringers. Purchase tooling. Best 12 bucks I ever spent. And oh yeah, well, those are already tooled. Sweet. And the rest of that is external, and so I think that actually completes the big pile of things that that needed to be tooled, because I should have done all. Oh, I did not. Oops. We've got all of this stuff down here to tool. This will be fun. Oh wow, yeah, I am bleeding money. Tooling. Are we down below a year yet? No, of course not. Why would that be a thing? That's just silly. So I'm just gonna nickel and dime myself to death. But this is why I start with 500,000 funds, is because I spend a 125% disproportionate amount of money on tooling things. That's tooled. Sweet. Are you tooled? Nope. Purchase tooling. But all of these lengths are used multiple times throughout the assembly, so each tooling does in fact, I don't know, make a difference. That saved us a few hours probably. That's tooled. Are you tooled? You're tooled. Those are tooled. Purchase all the tools. I can't because I can't afford it. I got a couple of balloon tanks in here that I cannot afford to tool. So I have to do it this way. Tool all, it'll take the same money. Right, it will take the same money, but the problem is that I've got some pretty big tanks on here, namely this one, that I can't afford to tool. So I got this tank, and this tank that I can't yet afford to tool. So I'm trying to tool up everything I can in the meantime, just to get a better guesstimation on stuff instead of having to sit around and wait for 1,000 years for all of the tooling, or for all of the money to be there. I can do this and kind of, well, that part's done, that money's spent. I don't have to worry about that money right now. But I think that's all of it. I went down the side and everything is basically just a copy of a copy of a copy. And if I get this bar and that's tooled, which it is, that means that that bar is tooled. These panels over here probably need tooling. Nope, that's tooled, which means that's tooled. Nope, that one's not tooled. The top and bottoms are different. Tool, purchase, tooling. That takes care of that top one, and this one. Stuff like, no, really? Are you a different size too? Okay. Bro, rebuild it without that tanks. Tool and reload craft. Nah. You have no idea how difficult it is to remove those tanks. Like, oh, that's not a. Oh wait, no. There's absolutely no way I can do that. it would take more time. Y'all are tooled, right? Okay, good. And this crossbar here, you are tooled, which means you are tooled. And the top tanks are tooled. The booster tanks are tooled. Sweet. Okay. Save. I think we're done here for the time being. I'm going to be done tooling things. Plop. Except for these. Tool fairings. Can't afford. Dang it. Save. Okay. I think we're done with that. So let me make some notes of what I have to do. I need to figure out the camera missions, and I need to save money for this thing. So maybe we just wait a little while until we can start building one of these rockets, or at least purchase the tooling, and hope that that will cut down our build time by like 50%. It'd be really great if we could turn one of those around in about 100 days. How's our construction coming? What's our daily looking like? Plus 243, so let's ramp you up to, what, 110? Yeah, it's plus 144. We can warp to complete. I'm just going to kind of burn through the year. Take a shot every time you say tool. I am dead. Alright, and our 350-ton LC will be done very soon. We're going to have nowhere near enough money to buy the tooling to start building the rocket. Or enough money to build the rocket. So we're probably going to have to wait on a bunch of those. We do have 10 science we can spend. And I feel like there was something that was going to take 10 science to unlock that I wanted to unlock. Which was it? Yeah, we could do Digicom. Primitive solar panels is probably better suited to our immediate goals. That gives us a solar panel upgrade, which makes everything lighter and more efficient. I think we'll just go ahead and do that. That will help us with basically whatever we decide to take next. August. How's our integration going? Alright, none of our engineers are working, and that's kind of a problem. All these are going to have to be reworked for the camera missions anyway. So, like, what good does it do, really? I'm not sure, other than keeping people working. So we are going to have to hire a metric ton of engineers. And what we should do, well, we can't upgrade that yet. We should be upgrading our admin building. It costs $413 a day and complete on 9 October 58, which is pretty soon. Hey, we're almost making that much, so if we just dial back our construction a little bit, we can do that. Yeah, now we're still making money. I think we can do that at 100% and still make money. Sweet! And then when that's done, we can hopefully upgrade. Yeah, because, well, Lunar Rain's comms will be ready in September. Hey, we got another radio in a science. That's awesome. Winning. Alright, continue on into September, please. Wow, micrometeorite detection, Earth space low, transmitted in 7 more science. Dang it, I should have waited. We could have done a much more fruitful upgrade. Construction admin building is still working. We're getting a bunch more money now, so we can upgrade our tracking station, which is necessary to realize, well, it's just worthwhile. It will cost $539 a day, which puts us in the red. So maybe we drop you both down to like 90%. 23,000. Let's go 80%. Minus 25. If we can just stay at close to net zero, plus 21. All right, we'll take that. Admin building will be done October 16th. We're still making money. Should we go buy tooling and start building a rocket? Or should we buy tooling or should we build a rocket? And I think the answer is going to obviously be tooling, but let's check our funding here. Yeah, we're riding the tails down. So like February of next year, that funding is basically kaputnik. And it's time to trade this in and pick up whatever we're going to do next. So we're basically just going to ride it out until the end of the year. There's admin building, it's done, sweet. And now 119, our tracking station is done. We need to upgrade mission control. Cost 500 a day, we know we have it. And tracking station upgrade required for flight planning, which we also really want. So let's just go ahead and order that in. Puts us at minus 128, so let's bring that down. We still need to make money. That's all that really matters. Yep, plus 6.7. Sweet. Tracking station will be done. That will free up a bunch of money. Ding. Sweet. How's our research coming? They're still working on primitive solar panels, but that will be done very soon, and we only have 6 science. I feel like I have definitely screwed something up here. It's 1959. It's time to start building rockets and getting really serious about stuff. Or fire all our researchers for a little while because we've got nothing for them to do. That amount of staffing will save us a good bit of money. We can up this back up. Pilzemsack, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. All right, ramp this up to 100% just because it's got something. That brings our daily to 194. We can really wait on this, though, just because we'd rather bank the money to buy tooling. That won't be done until 1960 at this rate. Alright, so I guess that's probably where I'm going to leave it today. Next week, hopefully I'll have something better figured out on the camera missions, and hopefully we'll be able to buy the tooling we need to start flying our big 350-ton launcher that's going to do all the fun stuff. I hope. Perhapsn't. What month is it? 20 January. Yeah, we need to go ahead and turn in this program. Early Satellites Light. We're at the end of its useful funding. So let's go ahead and turn it in. Collect our 14.4. What is that? Reputation. Yes, please. Ka-ching. And then we need to figure out what we're doing next. We're going to have 3 slots on this, so we could take crude orbit because the funding is really good. That buys us a lot of time to get our big launcher up, and of course this will use our big launcher. It gives us 8 years to figure it out, so we can't take it at breakneck because we don't have the stuff. That's basically 6 years to figure it out. But that's good money. And we could really use that, even if we're only using it to knock out targeted satellites or comm network. Like, really, comm network money is pretty good. $240 a year for 2 years. Takes us a year to build a launcher. Maybe 2. No, we're really hoping that we can get that launcher build time to about 100 days. And then, of course, there's early lunar probes, which is $240 a year for 4 years. I think we're going to need much more stuff to do that. Stuff. Comm network doesn't really give us an opportunity to get good science, though. I'm going to have to think about this for quite a while. At least overnight. So, alright, y'all. That's going to do it for me this week. I know I'm closing it out just a couple of minutes early. Many apologies, but it will take me a second to go figure out what our next step is. So I think we're going to find another Kerbal streamer to raid. Oh, Dunbaratu's playing Portal 2. That, maybe. But, King Akira-san, King Dogspeed's playing Kerbal Space Program, although it's probably stock, and I don't know if it's 1 or 2. Let's see who else is out there right quick before I dump you all off into being somebody else's problem. Crash. Good stream. Thank you, Floating Spaceman. Thank you so much for hanging out. Greatly appreciated, as always. Oh, did I scroll past my thing? Probably. Or it just has decided it doesn't want to show me KSP anymore. That's interesting. Thank you so much. Alright, who we got here? Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody is playing RSS or RP1. So, you know, hey, there's that. Man, bummer. Okay. Alright, y'all. You found out you forgot to hit the bell. I won't miss a stream. Okay, good. Yes, hit the bell, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I'll be back next week. Same time, same general attitude. Come join me for some malaise and rocket flight. Anyway, I'm gonna roll the outro. We're gonna find somebody to raid. And I will see you all next week. So, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. So, until then, see you later.